Let's welcome our very special guest. He is Christopher Manske, an award-winning financial advice expert, a West Point graduate, so many other great things, and he is now the author of the brand new book called The Prepared Investor. Christopher, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks a lot. This is a really special day for me. This is the book launch date, and I'm really grateful to be a part of your Successful Living show here, Bill.
So many categories come into how and why we're successful in life, and in all the categories, financial success is very important because it enables us to have other success in relationships, maybe less stress. And you have been in the financial world for many years, so let's tell people, first of all, a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I've got a military background, and when I left the service, I left as a captain in the Army and directly went to work for Merrill Lynch. And it wasn't long before I was recognized in the top 1%, top fraction of 1% in that firm across the nation. And I trained thousands of advisors for Merrill. And shortly after that, I brought my practice away from Merrill Lynch and have been under the Manske Wealth Management moniker now for almost a decade. And, and today with the book getting launched, The Prepared Investor represents some of my more unconventional thoughts on investing and why I think we are different from a lot of our competition's approaches.
Well, you're covering very important things. We're talking about preventing the next crisis from adversely affecting our financial portfolio as we work so hard, depending how old we are. We work very hard to build that up. I know myself, I track everything financially and I try to make the right decisions, but it's not easy when we have things unexpected happen, and life is full of unexpected things.
You're right, and you're not alone. The unexpected is made worse when the predominant reaction from Wall Street is to do nothing. The typical response from the vast majority of financial advisors across the nation is that they tell their clients, just stay the course, you're diversified. In reading the book, The Prepared Investor, there are very clear, useful, actionable steps that the readers can take to not just stay the course, but to be ready to perhaps go beyond just protecting their net worth, but to even grow it in the face of crisis. It doesn't make sense when you think about it from just a common sense perspective. It doesn't make sense that you cannot prepare for things like a pandemic or, right now there's a concern about will the election be contested. That's exactly the kind of crisis that, my book talks about and explains that it will negatively affect the stock market. And I don't think people would be surprised by that. The next piece of that is, okay, but how do I prepare for it? I think it's more than just a relevant topic. It's an important one.
You have action steps in your book. Before I go any further, I do want to say thank you and anyone listening that is a veteran for your military service. But one jumped out at me, Chris. I like this one. This is just good financial advice. Action step number 4, don't use your savings to buy things that cost money. Instead, buy things that make money. Hey, that makes sense.
Yes. So that action step is particularly important because one of the crises that people are thinking a lot about right now is the overshadowing of artificial intelligence in the workplace. And, this change, it's celebrated depending on your point of view, and it's feared depending on your point of view. Some people are truly concerned about the loss of their effectiveness, their ability to earn a wage because of artificial intelligence. And that particular action step talks to that impending crisis, and the book has a beautiful vignette that there was a lot of very smart people that helped me to gather the information for it, and really describes not just what the issue is, but how to be prepared for it.
So as far as the people that, when you wrote the book, who did you have in mind, and who do you think this book is going to help most? And we're talking with Christopher Manske, the author of The Prepared Investor.
Well, first and foremost, it's for anyone who has concerns about an unpredictable future. It's for someone who has a worry and they just would like to have an action plan. They would like to have a sense of being prepared. I mean, it's not too different from someone who's, just gotten their driver's license and they're worried that they don't know how to change a tire. Well, with a little bit of education, a little bit of practice, you've got that preparedness. You've got the tools in the trunk, and you're ready for the crisis when it hits. And that's who this book is for, is someone who they would like to be ready. They have a worry about an uncertain future. But it's also written for the finance industry. It's written for my peers, financial advisors, insurance agents, CPAs, men and women who are talking to others and guiding others in their finance. Because right now, Wall Street's typical response, the most common response, is woefully inadequate. It applies occasionally. It really is not a full and complete answer. And so we don't want a stopped clock that's only right twice a day. Let's keep accurate time.
Give us an idea also. I mean, we had no idea in 2020. We have no idea what's ahead in 2021, but we sure were faced with some challenges and some unprepared things to happen. The virus, people moving, getting out of the city, the presidential election, all these things. So how are you getting ready for 2021 at this point?
Well, the first thing that I think of when I think of getting ready for 2021 is that being prepared for a future crisis is no different from being prepared for any future problem. Like hey, the winter's going to come, it's going to freeze my pipes, and there could be water all over the place. I don't know when it's going to freeze. I don't know if it even will, but I do know that there are specific things I can do to get ready for it. I try not to get bogged down in it's 2021 separate from 2020, and instead just try to have a good sense of preparedness for the probable calamities. And when you read the book, you can see that there's a number of things from cyber security to Russia, China, to our current political situation. All of these things that we know a little bit about, we're worried about them. They can easily be looked at from the standpoint of, I don't know when, I don't know if, but I do know how to prepare.
How to be ready. And I want to tell people your website has some great things as well. It is manskewealth.com, MANSKE wealth.com. I encourage them, as I did last time, to go to your profile and check out all the credentials you have. And Chris, with the last few seconds here or so, let's tell people, again, you are the author of The Prepared Investor. People can go to Amazon, get the book right there. I'm looking at that online as well. Before we close out, what else would you like people to know?
Well, I'd like to remind them that this book is a hopeful one. This is a book that tells people that we've been through extremely difficult times before. There's a lot of history in this book, and it serves to tell the story that the next crisis, it will come and go, and there will be another one after that. And the sun will rise tomorrow, and we will prevail.
All we need to do is be ready. The Prepared Investor, Christopher Manske. Thank you, Chris. And let's tell people again how they can reach out to you.
Thank you. So easiest way would be to Google the book, The Prepared Investor. You'll see my website at manskewealth.com. You'll see the various booksellers online like Barnes & Noble and Amazon, wherever books are sold. Looking up The Prepared Investor is the best way to find me.
There you go. Thank you so much, Chris Manske.
Thank you, sir.